one with taking care of oneself, and that's so important, and changing some lifestyle, making different lifestyle choices necessarily. So this book is really divided into 7 chapters, and each chapter I address a different aspect of healing. I have healing with supplements. Okay, what supplements on the market today are helpful for healing? Then we talk about healing with water. We have so many different kinds of water now at the supermarket. Alkaline water, ionized water, mineral water, structurized water. Okay, what is the truth in this? Can one help or be more hydrating than another? We talk about healing with oxygen and ozone, healing with energetic devices. There's so many things that people can do at home and purchase these energetic devices. So I have a review on those. So there's lots of things that people can do at home to help their bodies heal. And as I was writing this book, I realized that it's not just for the mouth. It's really for the whole body since everything's connected. So this is something I notice with my patients. For example, I prescribe bromelain to them for healing the mouth, which is an anti-inflammatory enzyme that's derived from pineapple. And then people come in and say, oh, my hip doesn't hurt as much. My knees are feeling better. Because as the inflammation in the mouth goes down, so does the inflammation in the rest of the body.
Oh, isn't that something? Are you finding any pushback from physicians, or are you finding that they are really starting to listen to the dentist?
So it depends what kind of physicians we're talking about and under training. Of course, there's always going to be people that are trained traditionally where nutrition was not important. And me being a nutritionist, I see huge changes. I've seen that in my own life, how dietary changes and different choices helped me feel better. And there's lots of research to show the implication from nutrition, good nutrition, and healing. So a lot of physicians now understand that. However, as a health practitioner, it is up to us to go to courses and learn and see what's new. And some people do and some people don't. So I think when you're choosing a health practitioner, just make sure, I would advise people to choose somebody who knows the latest research and who's familiar with the changes in both medicine and dentistry.
And I think people, too, when they do interview or go for a discussion with a practitioner that's new to them, I think you do kind of have a gut feeling whether this person thinks the way you think. Because even if you don't know something, you can kind of almost pick out someone that can see you for the person you are. And if you're not going to change everything, you have to kind of get a feel for the right person that can start you on this journey. And I like the idea that you talked about lifestyle changes, because so many things in our health can be improved with certain lifestyle changes. Now, dentistry generally starts in the childhood. Here, at least, you did remark that when you were growing up, there was not huge dental accessibility or something, right? So it was probably more like that when I was a kid too. That there was no big pain thing. It was just you had your cavities filled, and and you always had a cavity. But kids now, it's like very important. How early would someone really benefit from the book? Starting to read the book and then raising their family. Do you see that this is kind of going along with people as they start having children, that they're starting to look at new ways to think about the teeth and the mouth as far as health? Because I know all the new moms are reading. They're all reading stuff. And to me, this actually sounds like, something they could start with their own health in their mouth, and yet it would be such benefit to the children growing up in their home.
Absolutely, Joan. And I think, as women, we really transfer the information we have to the next generation and shaping the next generation. And actually, my next book will be on children's oral health.
No.
Yes. Because of what you said, I realized a lot of moms were asking me questions about their kids.
Yeah. Because you don't want your child to have the dentistry you had.
That's right. We all...
Yes. That's so funny.
So definitely there's, and especially one chapter in the book talks about healing with probiotics. And probiotics is such an exciting new chapter for us in not only oral health, but overall health. Most people actually take a regular probiotic every day, as I do, mostly for digestive health. However, nowadays with the oral probiotics that are on the market, And I have to disclose that I have just recently developed a chewable probiotic, which is good anywhere from the age of 2 upwards, and it's vegan certified. It's called Orasana, orasana.com. You can find more information. But really, a chewable probiotic is friendly bacteria for the mouth that helps kids with teething, for example. And the xylitol in it also helps reduce ear infections.
Wow. In
children by 50%, the research shows.
Wow.
And so instead of giving them the antibiotics, is really now the age of probiotics. Let's feed our friendly bacteria and make sure that the friendly bacteria is really protecting us against the bad ones that might be coming in either through contact from another person or through foods, for example. So chewable probiotics are very safe, and they're good for parents as well as children.
Now, what would you tell someone who honestly, I mean, I never wanted to give my kids a pill. Now, my kids are adults now, right, with their own, they take care of themselves. I no longer tell them what to eat or anything like that. It wouldn't work. But I always avoided, and I had a pediatrician that said you should be able to eat everything that your body needs. So he would always talk nutrition, which I thought was really ahead of his time. He really was wonderful. So is there a way to get probiotics in food? If you really didn't have the money or you knew that you weren't going to keep up on the pills, that kind of thing, is there foods that would help us?
Definitely. And, our ancestors from thousands of years ago were fermenting foods. And growing up, my grandparents were fermenting foods all the time, and I actually continued that aspect of it at home. Sauerkraut, for example, if it's live fermented sauerkraut, then it has the probiotics. If it's the one that's just with citric acid, it does not have probiotics. Kimchi, for example, also something with probiotics. Yogurt, kefir. These are things that have live bacteria in them, and they're so beneficial for the digestive tract. However, for oral health, it's just more of a recent field, and unfortunately, unless we have something that we're holding in the mouth, like yogurt, it's very difficult. So that's why the chewable mints are usually easier. And probiotics or fermented foods are so good; they're anti-inflammatory. So we've shown that they've decreased the inflammatory markers in the body. Lots of research has been done on fermented foods and probiotics in the last 10 years. And we know that they're beneficial to our health, and we cannot live without them. It's something that we need to do in order to maintain good health, especially that antibiotics are in such high use still.
Yeah. And people seem to like to take pills, honestly. And I would say most of my family members do take probiotics. They do, some form. And I'm telling you, I think I saw my husband in the cabinet take out something chewable, and I think it was a vitamin. So it's just me in my household. Mostly everybody else is saying, come on, Ma, you're not buying everything that fits fresh. But this is really so exciting. So what would be, if I was not healing and I was trying everything and I had gingivitis or any kind of inflammation in my mouth and it wasn't healing, what would be the next step? What would you look for next? If I was trying the probiotics and what else could cause poor health in the mouth?
Poor health in the mouth is really caused by an imbalance in bacteria. And it could be also a nutritional deficiency. So if somebody cannot heal properly, then we can do some blood tests to see, are they deficient in vital nutrients, such as iron, for example, or maybe certain amino acids, or B12. These are things that we can now test. Also, we do some genetic testing. Some people can have a mutation, about 30% of us, in the metabolism of folic acid. And that in itself will cause somebody to gather more toxins in their body, to gather more, to feel more fatigued, and it's hard for them to feel good. So as we go through life, we do gather more toxins, and some people can let go of them easier than others.
I have to
now we can identify this mutation. Yeah, and it's an easy fix. Basically, we just give them just a different form of folic acid. That's all it takes. And yes, it does involve a pill. However, it's a very good therapeutic way for somebody to just feel good just from taking one supplement.
You know, I have to say, is it genetic, though? Because you always hear that. You know, if I say, oh, I have good teeth, my kids have good teeth, or one doesn't have good teeth, well, they got it from the father. You know, is oral health really something that's genetic, or are parts of it genetic, and a lot of it like how you live your life?
A lot of it has to do with how we live our lives and how we practice good hygiene.
Okay.
What is genetic, Joan, is the shape of the teeth. So the shape of the teeth we can't really change unless we, of course, put crowns and veneers. But we want to maintain the natural tooth structures, especially as biological dentists, to maintain that healthy long term. If somebody has deeper grooves, for example, then they have a higher likelihood that they can get cavity-causing bacteria inside those grooves. If somebody has a certain gingival or gum architecture around the teeth, they may be a little bit more prone to gum disease. Also, there's a genetic predisposition to inflammation. So some people, in response to the same bacteria, respond differently. So we have patients that have aggressive or really severe gum disease. They have a genetic predisposition to inflammation. So some people never brush their teeth, and they don't have that many problems. That's really a genetic component where it comes into play.
I've heard that too. So listen, if you wanted to give our listening audience something to take home, what would you leave them with? What kind of a comment would you want them to remember this whole interview about?
I would love everyone to know that the mouth is connected to the rest of the body. So start looking at it, start observing it, and take care of it. Because, I had somebody tell me, it's such a gross place. I don't like to look at my mouth. But it's really a part of one's body, and we only get one set. Of course, if we lose the teeth, now we have great options to replace them. We call them teeth in a day with dental implants.
Right.
And it's not an issue. However, we always try to maintain one's overall health, and it really comes from your choices. So the power is in your hands out there, how you want your oral health to be. And it's really not, if you just go to the dentist regularly, it's not enough. It really takes everyday home care and lifestyle choices.
Well, listen, we want to thank our guest, Dr. Sanda, for being with us today, and we want to thank you, our listening audience, for being here as well.